Hello everyone, and welcome to the Brickformula review of LEGO set A679 Tokyo International Circuit. It has 842 pieces for ages 7 to... whoa, I can't see. Oh well. It's from Cars 2, brought to you by Disney and Pixar, and this set retails for $89.99. Here in the front, we see the cars driving in the wrong direction, but it's okay, I understand. It's all about taking a good picture for the front of the box. It wouldn't look too good, we just saw their behinds, right? Well, I would think so. Here are the cars, and if you want to know their names, they have it on the back here. And we have Pity 1, Pity 2, Guido, we have Francesco, Shu Todoroki, I could be pronouncing it wrong, and if I am, please forgive me. The World Grand Prix, Lightning McQueen, Classic Mater, and we have Luigi. Also on the back we see some playability features, and then on the bottom over here we have a pretty cute picture of Guido over there. I thought that was nice, and I'll talk about this set in more detail coming up. First we'll take a look at McQueen, and this is the World Grand Prix version of him, and I happen to like this one better than the other two, and I'll show you why later on. Here on the top it says Lightning McQueen, go figure, World Grand Prix, and on the front here it says Hudson Hornet, Piston Cup. I like how it looks pretty serious too, nice details. Same thing for the side, really nice. And here's the bottom, nothing special. I especially love the way they made the back here, and let me show you why. Okay, we have the classic version of McQueen there, and radiator springs. As you can see, they made the spoiler like this. Okay, and I don't really like it. It looks weird. It might come in handy if you want to pass some gas to your opponent who's behind you, and you just want to wave it off to them. Okay, but that's not very nice. And I still like this one better, much better. And plus you can see the taillights over here too. And this looks like a race car. Alright, and I guess while we're here, we can see the difference between the three. Okay, obviously the eyes are different, the top, the tail, just about everything. Okay, all the plates are different. And there we go. Okay, let's take a look at Francesco. And here he is. Francesco overall is pretty cool. I just wish they added more detail to him, because this top part here is supposed to be green, some more green over here on the side, and this back piece here shouldn't be facing upward, it should be facing down. Okay, although they did do a good job with the front. Okay, there it is, nothing special on the bottom. And I also found out that he's voiced by Shu Todoroki, which is pretty cool. I think he's a funny guy, so I can't wait to see the movie now. Let's take a look at the next car. Here is Shu Todoroki, and he is exclusive to this set. You're not going to find him anywhere else. I like him overall, even though the details aren't that accurate. Okay, they could have done a better job with that. Here on the side, they could have put the word Japan in Japanese here as a marked brick. That would have been a nice touch. On the top here, he's not supposed to have this antenna here. It makes him look like a RC car. Okay, there is, however, supposed to be an antenna like right there. Okay, which is much smaller, but that's probably a detail that we can live without. Also on the top here, this head is pretty big. It should be a lot skinnier, and it shouldn't angle out so much, but oh well. Here in the front, he looks pretty cool and calm. Alright, looks like a patient driver to me. I guess we'll find out in the movie. Here in the back, I love the details here, even though this piece is not supposed to be here. He doesn't have anything that sticks out that far from the back. And then on the bottom here, that's pretty nice. It's really flat. And overall it's a nice car, alright, despite the lack of accurate details. Let's take a look at Luigi. And here's Luigi. Alright, here's what it looks like from the side. And there's the top. He's very simple. Okay, and there's the front. Very easy to build too. There's the bottom, nothing special. There's the back. And to tell you the truth, I'm surprised that he's up in the tower doing the announcements. I always thought he was supposed to be down here with Guido doing whatever. But I guess he's moving up in the world. Lucky guy. Let's take a look at Tomater. Now Tomater is a little different in this set, mainly because he has those headphones and a mic, which makes him look important. I'm just kidding. He's always important. He's McQueen's best friend, and he's probably in this race to coach him through, which is really nice of him. On the side here we have a printed brick that says Tomater, towing is salvage, radiator springs. And you'll also notice that because of the headphones, he does not have the side mirrors. So I just want to point that out. Here in the back, some nice details here. And he can tow around McQueen and Francesco. For all the other cars, not really. For Luigi, you can tow him as well, but the thing is though, you'll be dragging him around by his bumper, whether it be from the front or back, which is not good. For Shu, you can only tow him around from behind okay, and you'll be scraping him on the front, which is not good for him. So we'll just leave those two out. But otherwise, he's pretty cool. And let's take a look at Guido. Now here's my favorite character, and it's Guido. He's this cool little forklift, and here's what it looks like from the side. There's the top. It's a pretty easy build. Here we have the front, and you see him smiling. I wish they would give him a different set of eyes, because you can get him in other sets, and plus it would look cooler if they had him with the eyelids going down halfway, because that's what he looks like when he changes the tires in the pit stop. And I thought that would have been nice, but oh well. There's the bottom, and here's the back. And now let's take a look at the pitties. This right here is Pity 1, and you'll see him helping out Francesco in the pit stop. Here's what it looks like from the side, and here's the top. I like how you have these headphones over here. I wonder why Guido didn't get any. That would have been a nice touch. There's the front, and these can move up and down like so. Okay. And here's the back, and there's the bottom. Not much to them. Let's take a look at Pity 2. Now, Pity 2 has the same face as Pity 1, and there we go. It's a printed brick. And here's the side, and here's the top. I really love these headphones. Okay, they're not made of the frying pans like the other ones. These are much bigger. Okay, and I especially love this cap here. That's a nice touch. And overall, it's pretty cool. Okay, there's the bottom, and there's the back. Alright, and he's the one that you'll see helping out Shu in the pit stop. Alright, now to take a look at the props back there. Here we have the props, and they go to the side of the main building. The reason why I call them props is because, well, that's what they are. Alright, they're really simple, and they go in the background. There's no playability, and as you can see on the back here, it's pretty hollow. Okay, it's a really simple build, and they just stand there. Alright, and this is the pit stop for Italy. Okay, so you'll see Francesco down there every now and then. Over here is the one for Japan, and it's built exactly the same way, just different colors. Here's the back. What I do like though is that it comes with this lantern on the top here, which is a nice touch. But otherwise, they're okay. Let's take a look at the main building, because that's slightly different. Now here's the main building, and it's also a prop, just like the other two, because there's not much playability to this. This is the pit stop for McQueen, and up here, I just want to point out that this part can be removed, like so. It's only held by these two studs over here. And it can be removed, not for extra playability, at least I don't think so, but because it's easier to build this by itself and then put it on top. Because in my stop motion, when I built this on top, this whole bottom half would collapse. Alright, so I just want to point that out. Now this bottom half is built the same way as those props there. You see it's hollow back here. The only thing different is the colors and the roof. Okay, it comes with a lantern and a flag, so that's nice. This part up here is really simple. This is where you put Luigi to do the announcements. And that's that, okay? You can just put this back on top here, and there we go. Now to talk about the accessories and the finish line. Here we have the accessories, and you get to build two of these lane dividers. Okay, they're very simple, so there's really no need to talk about that in length. Next we have the three tanks. They're built exactly the same way, just different colors. What you'll notice is that they all share the tools, okay? Which I thought was strange, because I know I wouldn't want to share my tools with my opponents in the same race. Okay, what if they use up the battery in the power drill? Then what? I'm screwed. Okay, but then again, it's probably better this way, because if we had to get two extra sets of tools for everyone, it'll drive up the price on the set, and we don't want that. So in the end, I'm pretty happy with this. Okay, here's what it looks like from the back, and there we go. Let's talk about the finish line. Finally, the finish line. And they're off. Okay, as you can see, they both fit just nicely. Now, looking at the side here, this is the line divider for Francesco, okay, and up here we have the light, which is pretty simple, and up here we get stickers that put numbers 1 through 4 here to show which lap you're on. Okay, you just rotate it to show which one you're on. Okay, over here we get a camera, which does not do photo finishes, because if you aim it at the line, well, you can't see it. Down here we have another traffic light, and that's it. Okay, it's pretty wobbly, but not that bad either. As long as you leave it like this, it's fine. Okay, now to look at the set all together. Overall, it's not a bad set. I think kids will enjoy this. For the adults, probably not so much. Okay, unless you're a Cars 2 fan. Okay, you do get a lot of cars in here, even though you can get some of them in other sets. But it is nice to get them all in one, especially since the value is pretty good. My only real disappointment is that these props could have used a platform over here on the inside. This way I can reuse these and put minifigures in there. So this way I can have other races with different cars. But, oh well, I guess they'll just have to stand there and maybe have to take them apart and reuse them for something else. But overall, it's not bad. Okay, and that sums up my review. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.